If you want your YouTube videos to have crazy nice B-roll, unique animations, and music that does not get you copyright striked, I'm going to be telling you how you can avoid all of this in this video. Look, the standard nowadays for a YouTube video and for your own viewers is to have some level of editing experience. Whether that be just a really simple image that is popping up on your screen to list every detail that you're talking about, or a whole animated sequence that you just made by yourself. But how do you find all of these assets? There are just so many paid versions out there on the internet, and you don't really want to spend extra money on finding assets that you only use once. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm going to be talking about where you can find all of these free alternative assets that you can easily use when editing your own YouTube videos. So just to start off with the first asset, I'm going to be talking about where you can find free music and free sound effects that you can use for your own YouTube videos. And this first being is actually SoundCloud. Now, SoundCloud is a really great service that you can actually use to find really great artists with amazing music talent. And actually, oftentimes, a lot of these artists provide a free download link for their free music or free sound effects that you can use without any copyright issues. The reason why a lot of artists do this is because they are trying to promote their own personal brand. So if you were to actually use any of their music and sound effects in your videos, this would actually garner them a lot more attention for their own brand and gets a lot more viewers clicking onto their music and listening to it. And this actually works really well. There are a lot of YouTubers out there on YouTube that are using the same types of music from the same types of artists. So in a way, this is a win-win situation for you who is trying to find really great music and really great sound effects to use for your own video, and you're also helping to promote newer and upcoming artists on SoundCloud. Now, there is thousands and probably millions of artists out there on SoundCloud, so you don't really have to worry about running into the issue of finding music that does not work for your own videos at all. Now, one big really downside for SoundCloud is that it really depends on the artist's decision. For example, if that artist becomes really successful and they just want to transition away from providing free content, then they might take off the free download link for a lot of the videos, so this indicates that you can't really use their music anymore. Now, other than SoundCloud, YouTube is a second great source when it comes to finding amazing music and sound effects that I can use for a YouTube video. Funny enough, this is actually what I used when editing my first YouTube video. I always went on YouTube and searched up what I wanted in the search bar, and I always got the result I always wanted. And in most cases, you'll find a lot of popular sound effects that has been used over and over again over the years. When you're searching for music and sound effects on YouTube, you can either be very specific with your searches, or you can be very general with what you're trying to look for. But if you want to make sure that you can download the music or sound effects for free, you should add the words free download at the end of what you're searching for, so YouTube understands that they will actually only give you content that is free to download. And most of the times for a lot of these free download videos, they would actually provide a download link that you can actually click on and download the sound effects or music that you should actually be using for your own YouTube videos. But if they don't provide the link at all, then you can easily just very sketchily go on YouTube and do like YouTube to MP3 or YouTube to MP4 on the Google search results and click on the first link and put in that video and actually just download it from there. I've been using this for quite some while, so I haven't run into any problems at all, since most of these songs and music that I've been using is completely free, so this should definitely work out easily for you. Now, the one thing I do have to mention that is a downside when using free download videos on YouTube is that if you were to click on a download link that is said in the video description, you have to be very careful. The reason I say this is because most of the links that you do click on are phishing or even viruses that can be downloaded onto your computer. Now, you obviously don't want that, because a lot of your private information and maybe even banking information can definitely be released to a unknown source that you definitely don't want them to be touching and playing around with. Now, moving away from music and sound effects, I'm going to be talking about how you can find free assets that you can use as videos. Now, one of the best places to find great videos that you can use for free is actually Pexels. Now, Pexels is actually a really great option to finding free stock videos that you can manipulate and change up for your own creative desire. When you're using Pexels, you do not have to worry about giving credit to any artists or producers, because all of their content on there is free of charge. In fact, Pexels actually has a policy where they encourage content creators to take their videos and images that they provide for free and manipulate them for their own creative desires. And this is my main reason why you should definitely be using Pexels. Pexels is very video editor and content creator friendly, so you do not have to worry about getting copyright striked, and you can manipulate the videos however you want. Now, there is one downside that I do have to mention when using Pexels. That being, if you're finding something really specific that you need for your video, it won't really happen, and Pexels won't give you a suggested video that you can actually use. And the reason behind this is because if you want something really specific, you have to go with the paid option on Pexels. And this is one of the biggest downsides when using Pexels. It's because a lot of their really great content and really specific content is being locked away behind a paid wall. Now that is the only website I would actually recommend a lot of content creators and video editors to actually use when making a YouTube video, because Pexels is actually really friendly for a lot of these creators out there. Now I'm going to be talking about how you can actually find free assets for images now. And the number one free place that you can find really great images to use for your own videos and stock images is Pexels again. Similar to the videos, you can find really great stock images, and they actually have a lot more stock images compared to videos that you can easily manipulate and change it up for your own creative desires. But similar to what I said in the videos, it's not very great if you want to find something very specific. Now other than Pexels, Icon Packs is a great tool that you can use to get free icons. On Icon Packs, you can find icons and graphics that are very minimalistic and easy to work around. And one of the best things about using Icon Packs is that before you actually go download the icons or graphics, you can go into the settings and change up the icons to however you would like it to be. For example, if I were to download a YouTube logo, but I would rather change it from a red logo to a white logo, then I can easily do that in Icon Packs and don't have to fiddle around like Photoshop or Premiere Pro to actually change the color of it. And when you're downloading anything from Icon Packs, they would actually download as a transparent background, so you won't have to worry about getting rid of that black or white background, so you can put into your videos. And one of the biggest downsides when it comes to using Icon Packs, and it's something very similar to what I just mentioned earlier about Pexels, is that you can't find anything very specific, and it's very difficult to get what you really want. The reason I say this is because if you were to go on Icon Packs and type something very specific into the search bar, you will never get any results. If it's too specific, Icon Packs would actually recommend you paying for their service and actually getting the access to all the thousands of more icons that they offer. And obviously the reason why you're actually watching this video is to not pay at all, so this is definitely not an option I would recommend. Now one of the best ways to circumvent this issue of just not having a huge variety of icons or graphics that you can use, you can definitely move over to a platform like Canva. Now Canva is another great free tool that you can easily use when making graphics. And like I mentioned earlier, if you really wanted to create a graphic that is a lot more specific to what you're looking for, then you can easily create it in Canva. But the biggest downside when using Canva is how you actually download the graphic. And what I mean by this is that if you were to download a Canva image or anything that you made in Canva, they wouldn't give you the option of downloading it as a transparent object. And the reason behind this is because this option is only locked behind a paid wall that Canva calls Canva Pro, so you really have to go with their paid option if you want to download a transparent image. Now a good workaround from avoiding to pay for the Canva Pro experience is to actually make the background of your graphic green. The reason behind this is because if you were to make it green, you can easily put it into your video and put like an ultra key light or even make it a green screen so you can get rid of it post-production. Now other than downloading really great images, I'm going to be talking about how you can find amazing free motion graphics. And the best place for that is to use a service like Jitter Videos. On Jitter Videos, you can easily make a bunch of video animations, and it's really user-friendly for a lot of beginner content creators and video editors. If you were to look onto Jitter Videos, there is a bunch of templates that you can actually choose from and download for free and use it for your own videos. And don't worry at the fact that you can't download at the highest resolution, because most of the times a lot of these graphics that you are actually downloading is going to be really small, so the resolution wouldn't be a big problem and the clarity for your viewers won't be affected at all. And just a side note, Jitter Videos would actually put a watermark in the bottom right corner, so if you really do want to remove it, you can easily just get the crop tool like in Premiere Pro and just crop it out so you won't have to deal with showing the video mark or the watermark in your video. Other than this free option for motion graphics, I'm going to be talking about where you can find amazing free filters for your video. And one of the best places you can find free filters to use for your own YouTube videos is actually watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials. There isn't any really great website out there on the internet where you can download a free filter and just use it for your own video, because there is a huge paywall behind it. And the main reason behind this is because it takes so much time to develop a great filter. So instead of spending like tens or even $50 on a filter you probably only use once or maybe a few times for a YouTube video, you might as well just try making it for yourself. Now one of the biggest downsides of just following YouTube tutorials and just making your own filters is that it's just really time consuming. But that's basically the only free tool I would actually recommend people would follow when it comes to finding filters that you can actually use for your own YouTube videos. Now for this last asset, which is actually fonts, there is one free tool that I would recommend a lot of people to actually use, and this free service is actually DaFonts. I've been using this website since I was like 10 years old or 9 years old when I got my first computer, and I just wanted to make some really cool graphics for my WordPress blog for my school. There are thousands of free fonts that you can easily choose from and repurpose it for your own content. If you're looking for something very specific that can only be found in like movies, for example, then no problem. They actually have a huge community out there and a huge thread post where you can list what you're actually looking for, and people would actually make suggestions under that so you can actually download it and use it for yourself. Now, when it comes to the downsides for using the fonts, I don't really have any downsides. It's just that amazing. If you really want to find amazing fonts that you can use for your own YouTube videos, I would highly recommend using Dafonts. So these are actually all the free websites and all the free tools I would suggest any video editors or any beginner content creators to actually use when making their own YouTube videos. A lot of these free options really do promote creativity and the fact that you should be creative when designing your own graphics, images, and videos. A lot of these free options really do promote creativity and for you to be creative when using their assets. But if you do want to hear about paid alternatives that you can use instead of the free options, then let me know in the comment section and I'll definitely make a YouTube video about it. Other than that, why don't you like, share, and even subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay updated when I upload the next time. Also, if you understand everything that I just said in this video, why don't you just take everything I just mentioned and go kill it on YouTube?